I've never been attracted to a geometric shape. Change my mind. Bill Cipher is a point of singularity in Gravity Falls fandom and fandom culture as a whole. He's instantly memorable to the point that people are still looking at the Eye of Providence, a symbol that has existed for 1,000 years, and going, "That's him! That's Mr. Cipher!" Sick Gravity Falls reference. I'm not going to fully explain Bill's whole deal, like watch the show if you haven't already. But all you need to know is that he's evil and unhinged, and a lot of people on Tumblr have made a pastime of drawing hypersexualized, humanized, or sometimes pyramid-headed interpretations of him, often blonde and wearing a dapper suit, extrapolated, of course, from Bill's top hat and bow tie. And I thought it would be fun to rank those kinds of fan-made Bills, as someone who hasn't really interacted with that side of fandom, on how attractive I personally find them. Needless to say, this video is going to be quite a bit different from a lot of the things that I've done before on this channel. But let me begin jumping in with what this video is not going to be. I did not just Google cringy Bill Cipher fan art to find some teen's anime-style drawing of a self-insert OC making out with a blonde twink in a top hat from 2014. We're not doing that. Leave the kids alone. Speaking of which, I did not make this video for kids. This video does not have children as an intended audience. If you're a kid, stop watching. There's nothing here for you. Frankly, if you're an adult, I also want you to stop watching. This video has no merit except giving my parents yet another reason to be disappointed in me. That being said, if this video isn't based on Google results, what did I do? Well, several months ago, I put out a call for my subscribers and for people who follow me on Tumblr to willingly supply their art for this video, for me to rank in a tier list. And rank them I will. Going into this project, I should establish that, to me, in my headcanon, Bill Cipher was never this dapper anime twink, similar to the ones I saw him drawn as on Tumblr so long ago. To me, Bill Cipher doesn't wear a suit. To me, Bill Cipher is every white man in cargo shorts who's tried to sell me on the idea of crypto. Oh, Bill? He wants you to build a portal to the moon. Oh, Bill Cipher? You mean Frank, the guy in your local coffee shop who wears a top hat with his polo shirt because he's different like that, who told you he liked your vibe because you were wearing black lipstick, before trying to sell you Adderall, adding that he would only accept payment in the form of NFT apes. That's who Bill Cipher is to me. And don't go, "Oh, but Bill needs to be sophisticated and cool." I mean, he manipulated Dipper and Ford. Would they really be manipulated like that if he wasn't dapper and attractive? Well, first of all, Dipper is 12. He's 12? He's a child. He's an infant. He's baby. But also, Ford's dad never gave him validation as a child, so now he innately trusts anyone who calls him smart. This can't be our litmus test for how sophisticated and dapper Bill Cipher is. I say all this to say that my vision of Bill Cipher isn't necessarily the dominant one in the fandom. But this was the perspective that I ended up going into this experiment with. I also think I was just a little bit old when I joined the fandom to be drawing anime twink versions of Bill Cipher. When I joined the Gravity Falls fandom, I had just ended a long-standing relationship with Shadow the Hedgehog, and I wasn't yet ready for another sexy man to be in my life. At this point, let me explain the rules for the submissions. People could submit multiple bills, but they had to be different types. You can't submit 2 human bills, but you could hypothetically submit, like, a monster bill and also a human bill. You know what I mean? Also, you needed to be an adult to participate. I have no interest in making sexual comments about the fan art drawn by children. I gotta mention somewhere that I got over 100 submissions. Some of them didn't quite make the cut because they either didn't follow the criteria or they were drawn by children, but I did my best to attribute every piece correctly in this video. But as always in my videos, I'm gonna have a pinned comment going over anything I might have missed, anything I might have gotten wrong, or any mistake I might have made. Please let me know if I did, but also know that I did my best. As far as how I ranked the bills themselves, it was really vibes-based, but I did have a system. More on that later. Oh, disclaimers before we jump in. It's gonna be a lot of not safe for work humor, lots of sexual jokes. If that makes you uncomfortable, this just might not be the video for you, and that's okay. Jump in on the next one. The next one's gonna be a real banger. I can't wait to tell you about the next one. And I promise, you're not gonna need to wait like half a year for this one. Number 2, we are not going to shit on anyone's art. I'm ranking fuckability, not art skill. And we're all going to refrain from being mean in the comments about someone's artwork. People are putting themselves out there. Come on, like, be cool. Number 3, if you submitted art and I ranked it low, don't be hurt. It says nothing about you, your art skills, your tastes in demon triangles, anything like that. But it sure says something about me. I imagine people are gonna learn a lot about me in this video. Probably a lot more than I intend. Lastly, we can have different tastes. And that's okay. No one is hot to everyone. Think of the sexiest man you can. Him? Ugh. Yeah, even him. Do I know who it is? It doesn't matter. We love diverse opinions in this house. On that note, I think we've covered everything we had to. It's time for the ranking to begin. But first, let's get a little bit more comfortable. Well, I'm more comfortable. Welcome to the Sexy Bill ranking. I'm your host, a Sexy Bill. My eyes are up here. So, let's dive right in. Here are the categories. At the top, we have seduced by his flattery. Basically, would I be successfully manipulated by this man into helping him build an interdimensional portal so he can take over the world? Would I let him ruin my life? This should be self-explanatory. Category 2. It's about the energy. This is probably going to apply to the bills who I don't necessarily find attractive, but who will have the charisma to carry me into the bedroom. Category 3. Why not? Why not? Category 4. Just some twink named Andrew. I will note that this used to be just some skinny white guy named Andrew, but a lot of the bills I got were substantially more diverse than I thought they'd be. And simply put, some of the skinny guys of diverse backgrounds that I got also gave me Andrew vibes. Diversity win! The twink named Andrew is brown sometimes. Just a note, I'll also be treating the Andrew category as the bills that I feel very neutral about. Category 5. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. You can't have sex with him. He's just a little guy and it's his birthday. Category 6. BRB inventing a memory gun. Not only would I not have sex with this man, but I actively want to forget he exists. And then finally, the bottom tier, installing a metal plate to keep him out of me. You might be thinking, Hannah, you would get a brain surgery just to avoid some of these bills? To which I'd say, I never said the metal plate was going in my brain. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Now before we get to the fan art bills, it was important to establish a baseline. So I included some of the canon bills, including his default form. Now I will say, as far as frames of canon Bill from the show, there might be frames where he has just a bit more charisma than this, but this is the image that's used on his wiki page, so I thought it was a good start. I mean, I'm not about to scrub through the entire show for the sexiest possible frame of Bill Cipher. When you're on Tinder, the image you share is the image you share. You can't post a 3-minute video and have prospective dates scroll through to see if they can find the best possible image of you. As far as where this bill is going, I think I gotta put him in just a little guy. But hey, it's okay, this is just the baseline. Number 2 is Pyramid Monster Bill. It's a little bit early for this in the video, but I guess this is where you find out I'm a freak. This bill is going in, it's about the energy. I mean, look at him, he's just so angry and monstrous. And he has his own penthouse suite. And looking at him, all I can think is, what that tongue do? Next, we have Funko Pop Bill. This is going into memory gun tier. Look at his soulless eyes. I want nothing to do with him, and I wish he wasn't real. And the last non-fan art Bill we're going to look at is Alex Hirsch's very famous canon human Bill Cipher. This Bill Cipher was designed during a charity stream, and it was so hideous that it actually made a lot of younger fans incredibly upset, to the point that Alex Hirsch needed to tweet the next day that it was just a joke and this isn't actually canon Bill. As far as which tier I'm putting him in, it's going to have to be the bottom one. On one hand, I really want to forget him, but also, I feel like there's a part of my brain that needs to remember him as a defense mechanism, so I know to look out for him and to make sure he never comes near me again. Now that we've established my tastes, let's jump in. The first Bill by Steph Raina Art is this Bill Does a Blep comic. Now, I guess this is technically 3 bills submitted, and that's against the rules, so I'm gonna pick one to focus on, and obviously, it's gonna be the last one. And yet again, I must ask, what that tongue do? This is going in, and why not? Second on the list, we have this very little guy. Honestly, this bill gives me the energy of a small child that woke up because he had a nightmare and is approaching his parents' bedroom, but also, he doesn't want anyone to know that he's afraid, so he's in his very defensive, manly stance. I'm not scared! Alas, despite this bill doing his best to look like he's not going to cry, he is just a little guy. Next, we have this triangle head bill, which I don't know if you could categorize it as a human bill, but it's definitely not the same category as the last one. Yeah, this bill is kind of as Andrew as it gets. He's just a guy. With how joyful and jubilant he is, I'm considering putting him in just a little guy, but yeah, no, this is gonna be our first Andrew. Up next, we have a bill by Jocelyn Moon. I like the constellation theme in the coat. Very nice, very neat. And also, he's like asking me to dance. Okay, I like that. We love romance in our bills. You know, his body is giving me Andrew, but the effort he's making is elevating him to, why not? Next, we have this follow-up bill by Jocelyn Moon, which is, I think, similar to the last one, but more of a human. And yeah, I like the way they're looking at me. This is a nice one. They're bowing with their hand outstretched and the hand's on fire, so I'm about to make a deal in theory. And God, what can be more sexy than making bad decisions? This is going in about the energy. Next we have this bill by Jocelyn Moon, and well, on one hand, I don't like being told what to do. On the other hand, I kind of like being told what to do. Again, we have the hand outstretched in a deal, and nothing is sexier than making bad decisions. But he's also coming off as a bit desperate, and that's definitely a red flag. It's tough because I at least feel something looking at this bill, and I feel like we're not going to have a lot of just triangular bills up on the top half of this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in a why not. But that might be subject to change. Next, we have this bill by Ylghr. Do you see this pathetic little meow meow? I mean, oh my god. I'm gonna go ahead and put Puppy Play Bill in about the energy. Next, we have a follow-up by Ylghr. This one's a human bill, and I think we can all agree this one's a bit weaker. Definitely just an Andrew. A very well-decorated and well-drawn Andrew, but an Andrew nonetheless. Next, we have this bill, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually really gravitate towards the way this bill is dressed. Like, this kind of like pop punk outfit with the mesh. Ugh. Like, ultimately, this is a human bill that if I saw this human being at a bar and they looked at me and I looked at them, there'd be something going on. I mean, I might think that the top hat is a little weird if they wore that to a bar, but ultimately, if I can't look past a top hat in this specific tier list, we'll be here all day. It looks like this is going to be our first seduced by his flattery. Up next, we have this incredible multi-part piece by Ylghr, or however it's pronounced. I'm realizing I'm not going to be able to pronounce all these names, y'all. Sorry. Now, obviously, not all of these bills can count, but we're going to split these up into 3 different categories. I'll start with this little Playboy bunny bill in the background, and I guess it's technically also a little triangle bill, but I mean, I think we can put some clear delineation between this and the yellow triangle. Look at this little outfit. This is adorable. This is going to be just a little guy, but it's my favorite just a little guy so far. And I really appreciate him dressing up for me. Next, we have this bill, and I mean, he's doing everything right. He's reclined on a piano surrounded by rose petals. He's given me doomy eyes. Doomy eye? His tie's undone? Oh, disgusting. He's doing everything right. I have to move him pretty high up. Good behavior needs to be rewarded. Putting this bill in, it's about the energy. This is probably going to be as high up as a yellow triangle bill will get, I imagine. But who's to say? There's still a lot of bills left. And then, finally, we have the pièce de résistance, this monster bill. And, if you know me in real life, can you do me a favor and just, stop watching this video? You know what? I'm not a coward. Who cares if you know I'm a monster fucker? This is going to the top. I mean, I know I've been saying what that tongue do a lot, but this guy's got multiple tongues of different shapes and sizes. This is a cunnilingus multi-tool. And yeah, you can judge me if you want, but there are Nazis and climate change in this world. Me having sex with a spider Bill Cipher is the least of your concerns. It's an election year. Moving on, we have this bill by All Seeing Portrait. I will say this bill had multiple iterations, but I went with the basic one for Judgement. And it's a perfectly adequate bill. I really like the style it's in, this lineless art, or rather this yellow line art, really interesting. But I mean, he's just a guy. Up next, we have one by Year 2000 Electronics. This one also came in an entire sheet of outfits for this bill, which I really enjoyed. I ultimately picked this bathrobe design just because I liked it the most. I think it was my favorite out of the bunch. I appreciate him and I like his style, but yeah, this is gonna be an Andrew for me. Next we have this bill. This was an anonymous submission. This bill does look like a small British child, so it will be forced to go to just a little guy. After that, we have this anonymous submission bill, and, well, at first I was really tempted to just throw it into Andrew and call it a day. But also this bill is, the way he's posed and the way he's, smiling at me, but, looking down at me. He's, at an up angle and he's looking down at me, and that's doing something? And I know what you're thinking, Hannah, are you gonna throw this bill up a tier just because he's looking down at you? No, of course not. I'm gonna throw him up 2 tiers. It's about the energy. Hey, editing Hannah here. I don't know what the fuck I'm going on about here. I genuinely don't know what I'm talking about. This is an Andrew. This is the most Andrew motherfucker I've ever seen. I don't know what, past Hannah was thinking. I don't know if the wig was on too tight, but this is an Andrew, and I think I made the wrong call. And I'm sorry to whoever drew this man, but this man is an Andrew. He has, a soul patch. I put a bill that had a soul patch above A.Y. Not. He looks like Vanilla Ice fucked any fuckboy in my college, and this is the baby that resulted. So, and I put him up for what? For looking down on me? Looking down at a down? So, because he's taller than me, I'm 5'3". I'm 5'3". Everyone is taller than me. Almost everyone in the world is taller than me. Joe Biden is taller than 5'3". Is he going up on the list? What is wrong with me? Genuinely. He has a soul patch. I gotta go to therapy. Up next, we have this bill by Emmy Nikos. And he's a very powerful little guy, but a little guy he is. Next we have this bill, and no, he would be little guy, but smoking kills. So this is going into memory gun. We have another bill. This one's a human pyramid head bill. And I will say, you know, I appreciate the different body type. I actually would have given it more points for that. But he just looks kind of lost. He's just kind of standing there. Come on, buddy. The bedroom's not that way. It's this way. Yeah, I think this is going to need to go into Andrew. Next, we have this bill, and I think he's going to need to go into little guy. I appreciate the badonkadonk, but I'm a titty man myself. Next, we have this bill, and okay, old money. Okay, glamour. Like, I really like this bill. We have these diamond rings, these thigh-high boots, this fur coat. I mean, I don't know, it's definitely playing on my sensibilities. I think this bill's gonna go in It's About the Energy. Next we have this bill by Soy Cat. And I think I'll just say, this one in the corner here with the blue striped pants, I love this outfit. I ultimately think I would really gravitate towards someone wearing that. I'm tempted to make it lose points for the Sans Undertale eye, but I think this is going in It's About the Energy. Next we have this bill, and I know I've been really generous to the monster bills, but this one's giving me too much biblical angel iconography. And don't get me wrong, religious iconography can be very sexy, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. But I think that ultimately this is just gonna go in Andrew. I don't feel anything about it. And yeah, it's a bit weird to put this odd biblical angel into the category, but like, his name is Andrew, I can't help it. Next we have this bill by Demonic Chicken, and I do appreciate a bill that is playing an instrument. You know those like guys that go to the mall and they play their guitar and people wonder like who they even think they're impressing? Me, I'm the one they're impressing. But there's just not a lot going on in this design and I feel pretty neutral about it, so this is gonna be an Andrew. Then we have this bill by Tell Hello. Why hello there. So I really like this one. It's personalized to me. The bill's making an expression. I mean, I feel so, I don't know. I feel so catered to. He's making an effort. He's introducing himself. He wants to get to know me. And this is a very, very, very cut and dry little guy. But, I mean, flattery will get you everywhere. So this is going up to, and why not? Then we have this bill, and I mean, I appreciate him getting all dressed up to go out with me. Oh wait, are those pearls? And a fur coat? This is gonna be tough, especially because I think he's vaping, and that would ultimately put him in the bottom for me. But I really like the sense of style he's got going on. I'm gonna hold this one in my back pocket. We're gonna set it aside for later. We'll see what happens at the end. Up next, we have this bill Cipher, which really nicely rendered, by the way. So he is looking slightly down at me, which I do like, but he's just looking at me with a friendly grin. There's not really any tension between us, you know? Like, I would ultimately get a cup of coffee with this bill, but I do think ultimately that he's gonna be an Andrew. I like his outfit though. Up next we have this bill by Jay Sketchy, and the artist said they were inspired by Genshin Impact and that they wanted him to be a bit more muscly and bulky than the typical scrawny bill. In the email, Jay Sketchy said that they only gave him triangle nipples to like make sure he gets past YouTube censorship. I think that's going to be the least of YouTube's concerns. And frankly, even if he did have triangles for nipples, those would be the least of my concerns. This man's going to blow my back out. Next we have this bill, which I really like artistically. I want a print of this bill, but I do not want to have sex with this bill, unfortunately. He seems like he's having a great time on his own, though. He's going to be an Andrew. Next we have this bill by Hubba. It's going a little guy, but at least it's funny. Up next we have this bill, and ring the alarms, we have toes. Like, I'm neutral on toes, by the way. I want to be very clear on that. I don't care one way or the other, but the internet is very much not neutral on toes. I can't tell if the internet loves toes or hates toes, but they definitely feel something about them. As for the rest of this bill, it's pretty neat. I like the line art here. I like the poncho. I do think this is ultimately going to be an Andrew, but I also think that depending on who's looking at this list, the toes are going to drive it up or down, you know? Next we have this bill, and I had a lot of outfits to choose from, but I really gravitated towards the MILF shirt. I do feel like if I saw someone in a bar wearing a MILF shirt, yeah, it'd be over for me. But they're also very tired. I want to pamper this bill. I'm going to put this bill in It's About the Energy. Next we have this bill by Matastrophic. And see, over here I'm a bit torn because I feel the impulse to just immediately put this up to the top. But I'm wondering if that's just because the art style is really good. Like, am I being seduced by the art style, or am I being seduced by this bill's flattery? Let me zoom in on the expression here. See what it makes me feel. He's kind of smug. I like his eyes. They're kind of monstrous. I'm happy with that. Is he hot? Or am I just a whore? I'm gonna put this at the top. Fight me. After this, we have this bill by Ginjuice Tonic, which is incredible to look at. Ginjuice Tonic in their email said that this bill is from their Frankenstein AU and is a ghost who can do what he wants. Anything he wants? God, I had to choose only one bill to really focus on, so I think it's gonna be this one over here doing the bodybuilder pose. He has a Chippendales tie on. You know, now that I think about it, I guess all bills wear Chippendale uniforms. I mean, for Christ's sakes, in that case, the Funko Pop wasn't a Chippendale uniform. But I will say he's wearing a mask, and there's nothing more sexy than pandemic safety. I will say, though, looking at this bill, he very much has a bodybuilder body. And, I mean, I don't like men with too many muscles.
I didn't make him for you!
The other only thing that's holding him back for me is that I don't think he has a brain cell in his entire body. He's giving me big himbo energy. And don't get me wrong, I love a good himbo, but I feel like I just want to be pals with him, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hold this bill for later and we're gonna move on. Next we have a bill, and the email that it came in said, "For the love of God, please keep me anonymous." Okay, well let's open this up and... Yes, sir. God, that's a lot of tentacles. Why are they so wet? Did I do that? I will also say I do appreciate how thick the thighs are on my self-insert here. Thank you for noticing. I mean, he's looking down at me. Check. Yeah, he's probably going to the top. I don't really have any excuse. Am I an underwater sea vessel that's been exploring the ocean floor and is possibly controlled by a Logitech gaming controller? Moving on. So up next we have this bill by Anise Candy, and I mean, this is actually a pretty nice one. I really like the well-tailored suit. I will say his expression does seem a little bit disinterested, which doesn't really appeal to me personally. I'd put him in A, why not, but I don't want to be a distraction from his modeling career, so I think I'm going to put him in Andrew. Next we have this bill also by Anise Candy, and I gotta say, that's what I'm talking about. He definitely isn't disinterested anymore. He's definitely paying attention to me, isn't he? He's a bit scrawny, but I don't know, I get good vibes from him. I saw him from across the room, and I just gotta say, I love his vibe. This is going in about the energy. Next we have this bill, and this is unfortunately a terminal case of the Andrews. This is as Andrew as it gets. But I like his hair. It's very fluffy. After that, we have a submission by Ylghr. I will say, Ylghr submitted a couple of pieces. The first one he submitted was this one, which, I mean, it's perfectly adequate. We love a pirate theme. And the gold teeth, very nice. Rich.
Bill Cipher
is so rich.
But then they submitted the second version of him with the caption, made him even sluttier. You sure did, buddy. So I'm looking at this and, I mean, do I want to bite? We're asking the important questions here. The truth is, I was originally going to put him in Andrew. I mean, yeah, he's got the pirate theme going on, but that's just an Andrew with a theme. But I'm unsure how high this change of expression really propels him. So I'm going to put him on hold for now and we'll come back to him. Next we have this piece by Bright Creations. Buddy. So if you can't tell, I'll walk you through it. This piece is based off of this art of SpongeBob, which is in turn based off of this art of Hatsune Miku for the Romeo and Cinderella cover. I'm putting this on hold. Next. I actually really like this piece by Spectral Replica. Very neat. I like how thick those thighs are. That's a point. I also love the tuxedo t-shirt. That's really cute. This has some energy. I'm putting it in about the energy. Next we have this bill, and I mean, I appreciate a man in his emo phase as much as the next guy, but this is gonna be an Andrew. Next we have this bill by CSKV11, great username, very readable. Energy, what can I say? Next on the list we have this bill with the caption, Objectify me sexer. Sexer. Objectify me sixer. I'm sorry. Getting downright Freudian in this bitch. I do like the gazongarongas, very nice. You know, it's got these knee-high socks. We've got this wine glass. We have these claws on the nails. I think ultimately this bill is doing everything right. I'm gonna need to put it in Seduced by Its Flattery. We haven't had one in a while, too. We have this bill by Blood, Guts, and Cheesecake, and this is gonna be an Andrew. It's pretty run-of-the-mill, but I do like the design. Very cute. Good line art, too. We have this additional bill. You know, he just looks happy to see me. This is just a little guy. This bill looks even happier to see me. He just looks so cheerful. His coat reminds me a lot of, like, a raincoat that a kid would wear. This is gonna be just a little guy, but I do like the design. So, we have this bill, which does have the muscles and does have a cocky attitude, but it's a little bit too cocky, and it makes me want to knock him down a peg. And ultimately, I think he's actually pretty forgettable, so this is gonna be Memory Gun. Man, this is our first Memory Gun in a while. Are my standards low? Next we have this bill by Queen Wendy, which is, I think, going directly into Little Guy. And then after that we have this bill of him looking down on Ford, and I do appreciate him looking down on someone, but Ford is my baby girl, and so this bill is gonna need to go into Memory Gun. Apologies. From here we have this very snazzy bill. I do appreciate him. He's got a martini, he's leaned back, he's given me the doomy eye. I do appreciate a good doomy eye. I do think I'm gonna put this bill on hold because I gotta decide where he's going. Next we have this bill by Ouroboros. Metal Plate. Thank you for playing. Next. We have this bill, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at this bill, and I feel like every time I look at him, my neighborhood gets more gentrified. Yeah, this man is actively working to build a Chrome dispensary that you need a microchip installed into your arm to enter. I'm gonna put this into Andrew. Next we have this bill. Liminal H said they forgot the assignment and just wanted to draw a cool demon. As far as the design itself, I will say, it's very inspired. 3 limbs per body part, 3 legs, 2 vaginas. Yeah, I like this one. Very creative. We like the tongue sticking out. I think I'm gonna put it in why not? Next we have this bill, which is the very definition of a little guy. Next. This is also a little guy. I mean, very cute, but little guy. Haley, you are incredibly talented. I cannot believe you made this plush. It is a little guy, though. And now we have... It's definitely interesting. Huh. Yeah, this is immediately going to about the energy. I don't know a lot about this bill, but I want to know more. Next we have this bill, and like I said, I've been really charitable to monster bills because... But I don't like how scrawny this one is. I think this one's gonna go into Memory Gun. He's just too scrawny. I need a monster with a bit of meat on his bones. I mean, if he's gonna be a feral beast, then, like, he's gotta be able to do something about it, don't you think?
I didn't make him for you!
Next we have this bill by Luna Rosette. I really like it. He's extending his hand out to make a deal. I do like that. I ultimately think the design is a little bit too typical of a bill design. This is gonna go into Andrew, but it is really cool. We have a double feature, folks. This is a Bill and a Will. If you remember, Will is the ooh sad boy version of Bill. I'm looking at these bills, and while I do think the art style is really cool, I do feel pretty neutral on them, so I think it's gonna go into Andrew. After this, we have Bill Cipher with a steady income. 2 jobs and a midlife crisis. I had a lot of thoughts and feelings about this Bill. Like, maybe in the office he's a pathetic little pushover. Maybe he feels like he has no control over his life whatsoever. But you know, that just means that he craves that control elsewhere. Say what you want about that Bill, but he is a dom. He's going straight to the top. Not that he'd have it any other way. Honestly, even if I didn't think that, I'd probably still put him in the top because a steady income is really tough to come by these days. I know we've been doing this all chronologically, but he's going to the top of seduced by his flattery. I just feel like that's where he belongs. And for those of you who think I'm only putting him on the top because I'm easily swayed by money, I'm not sure I believe you. But you can always message me your argument at patreon.com/HowToHyperFixates. Next we have this Bill during Whdvhu. It looks like they're posing on the couch for me. I appreciate that. Ultimately, I'm pretty neutral on this Bill, but I am wondering about these purple tentacles because I don't think they're coming out of the Bill. Are they coming out of the couch? And yeah, that would mean it's an interesting couch to sit on, but I don't think it's a necessarily interesting Bill Cipher to sit on. Next we have this Bill. Again, we're doing everything right. This Bill has money. This Bill's drinking his wine. He's got one of those fur-trimmed robes, the ones that you wear when you answer the door so that the police could let you know that your husband has just died in a terrible accident, and that's just so unfortunate, and you're so heartbroken, and you pull out a $100 bill to wipe away your tears. Yeah, it's about the energy. Next we have this Bill, and it does at least have a hole. Still a little guy, though. Next we have this guy, I do think that this is ultimately as little guy as it gets, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in little guy. Number 68 is okay. He's got some strong features. I don't know if there's strong features that necessarily resonate with me. God, I know we said something about, like, we need to get over the top hats, but I don't think I can get over this top hat. It's killing me here. And that's not your fault. That's not the art's fault. It's just what we got to work with. I do like the brick pattern lining on the jacket. That says money. We appreciate that. But I think this is ultimately just gonna be an Andrew. I'm sorry. Next up, we have CB Magus's first Bill. This is pretty good. This is a really artsy Bill. It's got a lot of patterns on it, a lot of color on it. Why does that hat have a mouth? Why does that hat have a mouth? what that hat do. I'll put it in A, why not? Next we have this anime girl Bill. Absolutely adorable. Very much a little guy, but definitely a magical experience. Next we have Tingle Cannon, and Tingle Cannon, this is definitely a little guy, but you gotta give this Bill a bigger ass than that. Come on. Oh, Tingle Cannon's next piece of art is... we're bringing in Patrick Star from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which is, I think, a very formative experience in my life, so I've already got some biases towards this. I'll also say, the same way that that one Bill was really cocky, and it made me want to put him down a peg because I didn't think he had the guts to back it up, this Bill is cocky, but he definitely has the goods to back it up. Like, you could tell just by looking at him. This Bill's going into about the energy. We have another piece by Queen Wendy.
Hi, for some reason the recording really failed me at this minute. But what I ended up saying about Queen Wendy's art was that while I appreciated the tentacles on this piece, I don't really think it stacks up against some of the other tentacled Bills we've seen as far as originality goes.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this in Andrew. Then we have this piece by Whdvhu, Abraham Lincoln Chic. I don't like this one. I feel like I'm in danger. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in Metal Plate. I don't know what it is about him that makes me feel uneasy, but I feel uneasy. This piece by Kitty Wire is pretty interesting, because I'm not sure if that red trail on the top one is supposed to be entrails, or if it's Mardi Gras beads. And they could both move it up on the list depending on who's asking. I'm also wondering what that bottom bill is doing to that human subject. Like, what's he doing to him? What is that? I think that these bills are monstrous, but not in a way that's straightforward, which I really appreciate on an artistic level. But also, I just don't get it, and I'm more confused than anything. But I want to know more. Am I being too lenient with these bills? Especially if I put this one in A, why not? Is that too lenient? I'm gonna do it anyways, but I'm just asking for the comment section. Well, honestly, maybe I should put it on hold. I'm gonna put this bill on hold because I can't quite parse out what's going on. But it is interesting. It's definitely interesting. Up next on the list we have first of all, toes alert. We have toes. We have some toes in the chat. Second of all, he's looking down on me. He's got lace panties. He's got diamond jewelry. This isn't your average everyday energy. This is advanced energy. Yeah, this is going into seduced by his flattery. Alright, let's cool down a bit in here and let's go down to the next bill. I will say she is wearing the same $35 Amazon lace front as me. That's cute. Oh man, look at those boots. Those boots were made for stepping, and that's what I hope they'll do. And I know she's smoking, but like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe smoking is good, actually. Should I take up smoking? Leave a comment down below if you think I should start smoking. Yeah, this is going directly to the top. Okay, we have this design. We got some tentacles, we got a nice outfit, we have some skin variation, I like that, tongue sticking out. I do enjoy a good tongue sticking out. This is going into about the energy. Next we have this submission by Possum Breath, and I really like this submission. First of all, that suit is disgustingly 70s. Full-on Austin Powers vibes. Grotesquely 70s. We love to see it. Second, I like the design concept. He's made up of a bunch of triangles, but he has like this round-ish outline specifically to, you know, make you let down your guard. Ultimately, he seems like a horrible decision. And you know how I feel about bad decisions. Yeah, this bill's going into seduced by his flattery. I'm already seduced by him. Alright, so, up next we have Mouth Bill. Just a mouth. What that mouth do? I mean, I think this bill is absolutely fine. He does have a mouth, but I ultimately don't feel the energy from him. He's looking off somewhere else. He's supposed to be looking at me. Come on. I'm putting this one in just a little guy. Next we have this Batman villain human Bill. I will say, he is dressed the way my parents assume all gay men dress, which, I mean, I'm not saying that to knock him, but it is true. Yeah, he's fine. I do really like the design, but I'm not feeling any attraction towards it. This is going into Andrew. We have this, like, black diamond Bill, this, like, monster Bill. I really like that. I love the cape. I like the drama. I think I just really like the drama of this design. This is gonna go into A Why Not. Next Bill. I'll say this about the bloodshot eyes. This is probably what I looked like when I was staying up till 5 a.m. making this outfit. Yeah, I feel afraid. I do think this is gonna go into memory gun. Something about his stance is just too powerful for me. I need to erase it from my mind. I'm so sorry. Next we have this piece by Friendly Disaster. And we've been asking the question, what that mouth do a lot. And I'll tell you what this mouth will not do. This mouth will not be within 100 feet of me according to a court-ordained order. I am upset. I am disappointed. And I am going to put this in the bottom tier. Oh, no, I don't like that either. I don't like that either. I'm not going to... That's a cap. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel... I don't like that. Next we have... Oh, thank God. An Andrew. A nice, safe Andrew. Whew. I can't tell you how happy I am to see an Andrew after that. After this, we have this one, and I will say, this is also an Andrew, but I'm not getting Andrew specifically from him. Like, he's more of a Zachary. His name isn't Andrew, his name is Zach. And next we have this Bill by Billy Lay. I'm gonna hold on to this one for later. Thank you, though. You know, like I said, very generous towards the monsters. But in this case, I think even a monster fucker needs to have a limit. It is interesting and artistically really compelling. I don't want it near me. This artist also submitted Burritos Flamin' Hot Cheetos. No, more importantly, the image was called Hot Chip and Y. That's clever, it's cute. This is gonna go into little guy, but it did make me smile. Thank you. Next we have this piece by Jane404, and the mouth nipples intrigue me. I'm thinking about the practical applications of the mouth nipples. And for that, this is going to go up a bit. But it's also vaping. This bill is vaping. I don't know about that. It's going to A Why Not, but you gotta keep the vape pen in the bag, okay? Next we have another piece by Steph Rainer Art. Man, Steph, I really love every piece you do. Oh my god! Steph, those are so many folds, and why is the sweat so thick? The fly? Congratulations, you've made the most upsetting bill. Oh my god, I hope. Okay, next bill it's just it's just an Andrew. God, I missed Andrews. I will say, I'm just so happy to see an Andrew after that this is going up into A Why Not. Immediately, just catapult it up. And on that note, that's the final bill. Barring the bills that we've looked at here that we're gonna put aside for later, I think this is a pretty solid list. I might switch a couple things around, but I mean, I think this is pretty much where everything's gonna be. I will say, I'm not the least bit surprised that some twink named Andrew is the most populated category on this list, but, I mean, this is how we live. I'm overall really happy with the diversity of designs and ideas at play here, and I'm really grateful for people who submitted art. That being said, I must admit, I had a few reservations going into a project like this. Like, I obviously had a lot of fun with this, but I was struggling for a while as to how I wanted to tackle this kind of project. And I really wanted to talk about why. I can't wait until we have our final list completely set in stone. But first, there is some business I want to get to. And, well, if I'm getting down to business, I better get dressed, huh? See you soon. Hey. Oh, no. The vampire things. Those were a bad idea. Those are not staying in. I can't talk right in those. Do us both a favor and just imagine I had sexy vampire fangs in this whole time, okay? Yeah. Whew. Okay. So, how's it going? I gotta say, I've really enjoyed doing this whole, thing, this entire video. If wearing closet cosplays of Bill Cipher is wrong, I don't want to be right. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. You might think that this video was made as preparation for the new book coming out, the Book of Bill, which was announced about a month ago, but you'd be wrong. Honestly, I've had this video in the works since last spring. But considering the Book of Bill is in fact coming out soon and will likely revive the fandom in a whole new way, I figured this was a good time to talk about one of the biggest sources of apprehension I had going into this video. And no, it wasn't the fact that everyone was gonna judge me for being horny about a bunch of monsters. You see, I've always experienced a few layers of separation between myself and the more Bill Cipher side of the fandom. The facets of fandom that I was always involved with were very Stan and Ford focused, with Bill Cipher and even the main characters of the show, Dipper and Mabel, being more ancillary to the issues that the Stan twins faced. And who can blame me? The kinds of issues that Dipper and Mabel go through are more like growing up and coming of age and finding self-confidence and summer crushes. Whereas the older Pines twins go through things like homelessness, ostracization, struggling with the meaning of family, struggling with how to find and create a legacy for yourself. Not to say that Dipper and Mabel don't face any mature issues, but the experiences of the older Pines twins definitely were the part of the show that sunk their claws into me and never let go. I mean, seriously, I'm still in here after 10 years. I'm not leaving anytime soon. My interest in the show was almost waning a bit before the Book of Bill was announced, but then they announced it and here I am. I was 3 days away from retirement, Alex! And while the themes that the different characters go through stand as a good line in the sand between my circles and the more Bill-focused circles, I don't think that's all that was going on here. I think on a subconscious level, while I do in fact pride myself on being a huge fan of the show, there was a part of me that really wanted to disassociate myself from, you know, those fans. Like, I'm a fan of a kid's cartoon, but I'm not, you know, cringe. I'm not like those children. I'm not like those teenage girls. Ew, ugh. Bleh. Teenage girls. Bleh. I'm not like those fans who are really, really passionate. I'm just, you know, the normal type of passionate. And I hear myself, I promise, I know that is particularly rich coming from someone who's made multiple 2-hour-plus long videos about a 2012 Disney cartoon. Especially a 2012 Disney cartoon aimed at the same young children that I'm trying to disassociate myself from. Eesh, this is a can of worms. Though frankly, I think if you lived through the 2000s and the 2010s, you kind of understand where I'm coming from. I mean, from One Direction to Twilight to various TV shows, I watched teenage girls and teenage fans, and particularly queer teenage fans, get freaking eviscerated. They got tarred and feathered. And yes, we can all say that tar and feather culture is dead, but I'm still gonna wince when I see a down pillow. And that discomfort is what I want to explore. What I want to sink my teeth into. Wait, 1 second. What I want to sink my teeth into. Ugh, yeah, that's horrible. But that discomfort is what I want to dissect and maybe even eliminate today. Like, we all know that cringe culture is dead. I definitely know it. So why do I still feel this way about Bill Cipher? After all, Bill Cipher fans, just like any fans, are just a collective of people who are passionate and excited about something. And that's never a bad thing. I know that. I've talked about that on this channel. So why am I still like this? Whdvhu said in the essay, "Cringe culture is cringe," which, by the way, great name for an essay. That is the heart of the problem with cringe culture. Usually the people getting made fun of are harmless, just too awkward or earnest to exist on the ironic and sarcastic world of the internet. Most often, this thinly veiled bullying is aimed at children, the queer community, women, and especially neurodivergent and disabled people. As a result of this bullying, no one is allowed to just have genuine interests anymore. It is safer to be ironic and cynical online. Fandom acts as a safe space for many people, particularly because it encourages in-groups based around shared interests. But it also provides this under the veil of anonymity. This can be a magnet for marginalized groups because people are able to make these connections in these spaces without their race or sexuality being a factor. If you make a really cool fanfiction or a really cool fanfic, people aren't necessarily going to know what your background is. By the way, before I get further into the topic on how marginalized groups are impacted by cringe culture, I think I do need to say that ContraPoints did make a video on that topic a few years ago, and it was really good, and you should watch it. I'll be touching on a few of the same issues as her, but mostly putting it through the lens of fandom, and particularly Bill Cipher fandom, which, surprisingly, she didn't really go that deeply into. Why not, ContraPoints? Why won't you talk about Bill Cipher? You should definitely go watch that video, though. I promise I won't repeat everything she went through. I've infringed on Miss Points' content enough in this video, don't you think? Sorry, Mother. I think before I really delved into this video, part of why I was struggling was because I couldn't really separate Bill Cipher from the Tumblr sexy man of it all. I'm sure you all fucking know this, but for those of you who migrated to Tumblr from TikTok and Twitter in the last year, hi, nice to meet you. A Tumblr sexy man is a phenomenon of ever-changing definition, but that vaguely describes a quirky, mysterious, often villainous character that a large group of Tumblr users find a fascination with. Usually, this fascination manifests in a very smooth and twinkified fan art of a sad, misunderstood white guy, or, alternatively, a fucked up, evil, skinny white guy, the two genders. Oftentimes the character begins as a skinny white guy from whatever material it comes from. The most famous example of this, and possibly the original Tumblr sexy man example of this, would be the Ylghr, who became popular due to various reimaginings and recharacterizations and different pieces of fan art created by that fandom. And often those iterations were shipped with one another. This era of Tumblr history was very deeply delved into in Sarah Zed's video on the topic, so go watch that if you haven't. Why am I shouting out massive YouTubers like you don't know who they are? It's very nice of me to give these upcoming YouTubers like Sarah Zed and ContraPoints a leg up. But if you haven't seen these videos, go watch them, and if you have seen them, watch them again. They're good. Tumblr sexy men aren't always originally white twinks though. Sometimes they're geometric shapes, or various household items, or skeletons, or purple. I think it's often the simplicity of these characters that cement their status as Tumblr sexy men, because it encourages the fans to draw humanized reimaginings of them. The same way that the Ylgr's reimaginings fueled his Tumblr sexy man status. It encourages people in these fandom spaces, who again, are very oftentimes teens or tweens or even children, to anthropomorphize these characters, often utilizing the same traits and qualities that have been exposed to these children as attractive, like skinniness, whiteness, cisness, etc. Like the tweens all making their Tumblr sexyman drawing into skinny white twinks isn't necessarily sinister. For a lot of these young fans, the only example of attractive person that they've been exposed to in the media that they watch is like Hannah Montana's boyfriend. Yeah, the sexy men all look alike. It's because these tweens have seen like 12 men total. And all of these men were handpicked for marketing and merchandising reasons by Disney executives. And they all look like this. These tweens grow up in a society that tells them that whiteness, thinness, and moral grayness, more on that later, is what attractiveness is. And they don't quite have the tools yet to understand and unpack why that is, or why they retain that. But the perceived lack of imagination and tropiness of their fan art, on top of the fact that these spaces were often queer, femme, young, etc., and people who have the audacity to openly care about something and not even shove it in deep inside like the rest of us. Ugh. Well, all of that lends itself to mockery. But you heard me mention how shipping fueled the sexyman status of the Onceler, and I think that's important to note here. Sometimes this takes the form of self-shipping, like making a self-insert OC, or just straight out writing a story with yourself and this character, but oftentimes it takes place with a different character in the show. I've made a lot of efforts not to talk about this, but it's time to address the Bill Dip-shaped elephant in the room. I don't really want to talk about it either, and there's actually a timestamp on the screen right now if you want to skip. But Bill Dip, despite being something that I've literally never interacted with in my 10 plus years of being a fan of the show, is literally the #1 ship in the Gravity Falls fandom. Bill Dip is problematic and bad because Dipper is 12 and Bill is billions of years old, which last I checked is wait, let me do the math. A grown-ass man. But I feel like I need to mention this because Bill Dip did a lot for Bill's Tumblr sexyman status. I know I've talked a lot about how Tumblr is a difficult site to search through, but looking back as far as I can, Bill Dip is what fueled a lot of the sexyman archetype here. Bill Dip was shipped primarily by young teenagers, and that's important to remember going forward. For these young teens and tweens, of course there's a gravitation towards Bill. He's a funny character, he's morally dubious, he's kind of fucked up. Can you believe they let this on a kid's show? Just a reminder that it's problematic to manipulate a boomer into making you an interdimensional portal so that you can take over the world. I don't know what to tell you. Bill Cipher is baby's first bad boy. And there isn't really another character that's that appropriate to ship him with, at least if you're not able to resonate with Stanford Pines. Could it be me? So young audiences chose the audience surrogate. Tweens were projecting on Dipper for all of the regular reasons, like he's the most well-realized and fleshed out character on the show, he has the most screen time, and also, he's 12 and so are they. But also, I think it's important to add that we're talking about fandom spaces, spaces that historically have been very queer. So not only do you have tweens projecting on Dipper for all the normal reasons, but also because he's a character that struggles with being perceived as masculine, or with a crush on someone who could never really like him back, or who goes through an experience that can be described by some fans as a direct analog for voice dysphoria. Maybe I'm just speaking anecdotally, but the shipping factions of Gravity Falls, like most fandoms, include mostly trans and gay people. Maybe it's just me, Maybe I'm the common denominator. Maybe I'm the tap water turning the frogs gay. Oh my god, these fake tattoos are like flaking. I have like these fake tattoos and they're like flaking. Oh my god. Feels like I have a skin condition. Fuck it. I'm a sexy Bill Cipher with a skin condition. Normalize that shit. The D in BDSM is for dermatitis. But, as to what I was saying, if these teens are projecting on Dipper, then they can't draw themselves with a triangle. I mean, that's ridiculous. Who would want to fuck a triangle? So they anthropomorphize Bill into the only kind of Disney exec-approved attractive man that they've ever been exposed to, and create a personality for their new personal character, oftentimes out of thin air. And boom, a sexy man is born. By the way, I emphasize that these were largely children and teens, not to justify a problematic ship. Not that I even really want to have a conversation about shipping. But it is worth mentioning that I'm never going to personally fault a kid for all this. There's plenty of room for a conversation about how or if fandom content contributes to real life issues. But I think a teen being desensitized to a predatory age gap in fandom spaces and ships is more a symptom than it is the actual problem. Like, what do you expect when, outside of the context of a fanfiction with 10 reblogs and 20 likes, teens are inundated on a daily basis with movies and television shows normalizing the sexualization of teens, and multi-million-dollar advertisement campaigns funded by their multi-billion-dollar brands, promising products to make you look more mature, or attractive, or sexy. Not to mention social media platforms like TikTok, which are purposefully distributing teen content to older adults who in turn engage with it. We can have conversations about fan content, and I definitely think we should, especially when someone is putting their not safe for work or problematic content in the general tags for a show where children can see it, especially if it's a children's television show. Don't do that. But I don't think that's where the problem begins. God, I really hope no one takes a bad faith interpretation of this, like, 6-minute section of an hour-plus video and thinks I'm saying something that I'm not. Yeesh. But if you are going to make a bad faith interpretation, leave your accusation in the comment section down below so I can get that engagement. I'm gonna make so much money. Regarding Bill Cipher fan art, even outside of the context of shipping, there was a real passion here for making cool, edgy fan art and sharing that amongst friend groups. And people did form real bonds with one another inside this faction of the fandom. Not to mention the real bonds that people made with their own humanized interpretations of Bill Cipher. Remember what I said about Alex making that canon human Bill Cipher? People were freaking devastated by that. So much so that Alex needed to go on Twitter the next day and reassure these 13-year-olds that it was just a joke and there is no canon human Bill Cipher and they can make their own and have fun with that and know that he doesn't look like this. People were really upset, and it's easy to make fun of now, and people very much still do. Partly because it's a little bit funny, but it makes sense in retrospect. They had formed their own personal bonds with their own personal headcanons of this character, oftentimes based on extrapolations of extrapolations of extrapolations of the actual Bill Cipher. And in the case of versions of Bill that they made for queer ships in particular, regardless of your feelings on the problematic nature of said ships, these ships involved a lot of projection. The tweens in 2014 didn't have your Heartstoppers and your Love Simons. Back in my day, we had to walk uphill, both ways, in the snow for our mediocre twinks. I say all this because the combined cringe power of shipping culture, queerness, and earnest passion for something made it a breeding ground for the kind of mockery that I, someone who was still super separated from that kind of fandom, feared even years later. The stigma of the problematic nature of a lot of the ships associated with this faction of fandom also made me hesitate to make this video. And if the tar and feathering is coming, I'm just glad I'm wearing something a little bit more substantial than the lingerie and Amazon wig I had on a few minutes ago. And that brings me to why I look like this. Jesus, why do I look like this? I knew going into this video that going in with cynicism would probably be easy. It would be easy to pull up fan art from 2014 and point at it and laugh. And to go, look at this twink drawn by a gay teenager on Tumblr. Ha ha. In A Cultural History of Cringe and How the Internet Made Everything Awkward by Salmia Kalia, the story of Cringe is the story of a Russian doll, but one that looks a lot like you and me. We cloak that cringe with shame, then with comedy, then with an infraction so severe that shan't be committed, and now the biggest piece is one of acceptance. Lurking underneath it all is still that cringe, that sense of public shame. Despite knowing about that shame and criticizing it, it still lived within me. That's why I didn't want to cloak the video topic of people's earnest attempts of cool design and fan art with comedy and mockery. I wanted to be earnest here and actually appreciate this side of the fandom. You don't paint eyeballs and sew triangles on lingerie for 6 hours for a bit. I wanted it to be obvious going in that this wasn't going to be that kind of video. After all, there's a very real chance that people would jump into this video assuming I was just going to make fun of people's art. But who the fuck am I to do that? If you're putting yourself out there, there's real, honest power in that. And you should be proud of yourself and proud of the effort that you put into it, no matter where on the stupid tier list that you rank. And I figured that if I did it too, if I put in my own sexy Bill Cipher, it would convey at least some level of equal playing field here. I'm not a YouTuber punching down on queer artists. I'm just a transgender sub in a Bill Cipher closet cosplay, which I'm pretty sure is the bottom of the food chain in every faction of society that exists. So, let your cringe flag fly. If you want to make fan cam edits of Bill Cipher dancing to Vocaloid music, so be it. But I also did this for a younger version of me. Because there is another universe, one where I was a little bit younger going into the Gravity Falls fandom, young enough to experience it before shame descended upon me, like Eve in the garden after the first crisp bite of the apple, and where I was probably one of those cringy Bill Cipher fans. Now obviously, in this world, that didn't happen. Like I said, young Hannah had a crush on Shadow the Hedgehog, because I'm a man of culture. You know, now that I think about it, that ship is equally problematic, because Shadow the Hedgehog is technically older than 50 years old. Like, he was in suspended animation for like 5 decades. That's a big part of his character arc. I've been crushing on 60-year-old men since I was 10 years old. But luckily, I wasn't really active on the internet at the time. Thank God. They would have eaten me alive. But wait, I almost forgot. We still need to categorize a few more bills. But there is a problem here. Before I jump into the last few bills, I think there's something I really need to establish. Not all bisexuals are easy sluts who will fuck anything. That is a really dangerous stereotype and has no basis in reality. Bisexuals are in no way as a community like that. The problem is, I definitely am. But that's not because I'm bisexual. It's because I didn't get enough validation as a child. I'm just like Ford, for real, for real. But as such, if I'm going to go further in this video, if I'm going to objectively rank the few last bills that are on this tier list, I'm going to need some help. I need to summon an objective collective, a group that is not swayed by the fickle biases of post-quarantine horniness. I need someone to provide guidance. I must call on them, my friends. That's right, the Council of asexuals. Asexuality spectrum est hoc coetis non loquitur pro omnibus. Asexuality spectrum est hoc coetis non loquitur pro omnibus.
Thank you, the council, for joining me today. I've summoned you for a very important reason, as you can imagine. You see, I'm making a tier list of Bill Cipher fan art, and I need to know which is the sexiest. And I, unfortunately, am not an objective observer in this, but y'all are. So I'm using your input here. If you all want to introduce yourselves, as well as any social media that you wish to share, or none if you want to remain anonymous. I know that being in the council is a very high profile and dangerous job.
I am William the White.
I love that.
I'm known as Whdvhu.
I'm Ashton of no specified color.
Do any of you have any social media or Twitter accounts or Twitch accounts that you want me to put on the screen?
No, the Council of Asexual Regulations states that we're not allowed to make ourselves public on social media. It's just a thing.
I see. How about you, Ashton?
Twilight group time on Twitch.
I'll put that on the screen. Oh, before we jump in, I guess I should say, we all know that asexuality is a spectrum. Some people who are asexual experience some amount of sexual attraction, some experience none at all, some experience sexual repulsion. It's a spectrum. However, all asexuals can be summoned by an ancient ritual, and they wear robes and they do dark communion at night. I think we all know that. The A in LGBTQIA does not stand for ally, but it does stand for ancient sins. With that out of the way and that disclaimer being well known, I'm going to start showing you the bills. So the tier list has several rankings. I guess I should just share the screen and y'all can see what I put in the screen, but you're not allowed to judge me. Please don't. So this is my screen. In tier number 1, seduced by his flattery. These are for the bills that made me feel something. Number 2 is it's about the energy. It's not necessarily a sexy bill, but I still felt something. Tier number 3, why not? Because my standards are low. Tier number 4, just some twink named Andrew for anyone that it's basically the neutral tier for any twink named Andrew. Just some twink named Zachary. This bill had Zachary vibes instead of Andrew vibes specifically. Next we have just a little guy. I don't feel any sexual attraction towards this bill. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy and it's his birthday. And then the last 2 are BRB inventing the memory gun to forget this. And lastly, installing a metal plate to keep him out of me. On the bottom here, we have the bills that have not yet been sorted. And we're going to look at those up close, and I would like your input. Before you sort each one, I'm going to give you some of my opinions. I'm going to give you some context associated with each bill. If the person who submitted it had any extra notes for me, and why I am undecided. And then you guys can sort him accordingly. Everyone understand?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we're going to begin with the first bill. So before you judge me, I want to talk about this bill. Okay, Ashton, stop making faces. Put your face away. You're not allowed. Stop it. So the reason why I was undecided on this bill is because it has a body of a bill that is just a little guy. I also don't appreciate the smoking. Smoking kills. I've actually ranked several bills lower on the list because they smoke, and I don't think that's attractive because it's bad for you, and I value my viewers' health. But I kind of like the vibe of like the jewelry and the mink coat. It reads glamour. It reads high fashion. This bill has money. I will say I have moved several bills up on the list because it looked like they had money. And this is where we're beginning. Yeah. Any opinions? Any thoughts? Anything at all?
He's not a little guy.
I was about to say he is just a little guy.
Oh, okay.
Oh no!
The council is in disagreement. Ashton, if he's not a little guy, would you rank him below not a little guy or above not a little guy?
Good question. I don't know, man. He's just a guy.
He's
With
not
money.
a guy.
He's not little. There's nothing little about him.
Okay, I see.
I have to admit I'm severely distracted by the fact that he's smoking with his eye. I know that's how Bill works, but
that is how Bill works.
it looks weird, and I'm having a hard time with it.
Perhaps
Yeah,
his name is Zachary.
I don't think this is a Zachary. You think this is a Zachary?
No, I don't feel like that's a Zachary.
It's between Andrew and just a little guy, correct?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, he's not like repulsive enough to be on the bottom. The mink coat does suggest money in some fashion, which I don't know if that affects the ranking.
That's why
as
I'm
much.
saying he's not a little guy.
It's because he has money. He has too much
He has
money to
too
be a
much
little
money
guy.
to be a little guy.
William, you're being outvoted here. So do y'all say Andrew?
He doesn't look like an Andrew.
Zachary is below Andrew.
Can you remind us what the other tiers that we have
Okay.
to choose from are here?
Can we
Sure.
have them
Pixie
just on the
forever.
screen?
Sure. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I imagine it's not going to be in the top tier, which is seduced by his flattery. And then below it is...
We're not allowed to make new tiers, are we?
I mean, you're the council. You can do whatever you want.
This is true.
You do have considerable power.
You do. What will you do with this power?
He is just a guy, not a little
Just-
guy.
Yeah,
but
he's
guy.
a guy without the lil.
Oh my god, he's just a guy. Okay. Well, I guess I'm adding a tier that says just a guy.
I kind of like the implication that Zachary is below Andrew.
It wasn't on purpose, it was just how I made it. But I mean, yeah. I think Zachary is below Andrew. I'll say it. I'm not a coward. Sorry to all the Zachs out there. On to bill number 2. So let me give some context about this bill. This bill is actually a ghost. He's part of a quad set of bills. This bill was submitted by user Ginger's Tonic, but I said that they had to choose one of the bills to submit out of all of them, and this is the one that they chose. But all of the bills, except for the one in the middle in the pinstripe yellow suit, are topless, wearing nothing but a Chippendale tie and a mask of some variety. I do appreciate the mask because we love COVID safety in this household. I think that's very sexy and very attractive. The thing about this bill that I struggled with was he has big himbo energy and big like I got like golden retriever energy from this bill. There were a lot of little guys and a lot of Andrews on this list, so I couldn't tell if my standards were being lowered by that. But I would love any input on this bill.
He's definitely not little.
He's not little.
So, no.
Not little. Okay, all right.
Okay, is that the yellow lines like shooting out of his bow tie? What is that?
Oh, so there's like this like yellow rope that the bill in the middle is using to keep all 3 of his topless stripper bills confined, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Which is kind of a bondage element if you think about it. So maybe that moves it up.
Dude, is that a butt behind him? I gotta ask. Those 2 lumps in the background.
Shit. Let me look at the full image. One moment. We're gonna do some deep diving. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a butt. Yes, that is indeed a butt.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, like,
but
I
that's a
feel
different
like-
bill's butt, so it needs to not. Though that I guess that does inform what his butt looks like, huh?
I feel like that moves him up a tier.
That definitely moves him up here. This bill does have a juicy ass.
I would have said Andrew, but he should get bonus points for being a ghost.
It's true.
The description used in the email that Jujutonic sent me was he's a ghost, so he can do whatever he wants. Which
Exactly.
That's pretty powerful energy right there.
yeah, so it moved it up for me. So what are y'all thinking? It's about the energy or seduced by his flattery?
I would place him in about the energy because there's definitely some kind of energy going on there. I'm not quite sure what it is,
I
but
would agree.
it's there.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's the energy.
Why wouldn't it be in seduced by his flattery?
Because I needed to know the lore to raise him up from Andrew tier.
Also, he's otherwise engaged. It looks like, I don't know. It doesn't look like he's seducing so much as kind of
well, it's not about whether or not he's seducing, it's about whether or not I'm seduced. But you know what? I'm not going to question the council here. This is going in, it's about the energy. Thank you very much. We're gonna move on to the next bill, which is this bill by Gobblewinker. This bill is from Gobblewinker's Pirate AU, and I will say, at first, Gobblewinker submitted a perfectly passable bill, just like, basically the same bill, just like standing there. I was about to give it Andrew vibes. Let me show you that one. This was the original bill, and then they submitted a second one with the caption, "I made him sluttier," which is true. They did make it sluttier with this one. So this is the one that I'm actually judging, but I was wondering how much the pose should impact it here, because I do think this is a cool design. Like, it's like a gold-toothed vampire pirate. There's something there.
There is.
I do appreciate the costume work going on there. That's a good coat. Is that an eye patch or is his eye just yellow? I can't tell.
I think his eye is made of gold. I think it was replaced in an injury. That's what it looks like.
So he's rich.
So he's rich.
So he's not a little guy.
If he's a pirate, probably.
I mean, look at him. He's rich.
Yeah, he's rich, but he definitely got his riches by plundering and killing people.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
he gets a bonus point for being a bad boy.
He does get a bonus point for being a bad boy. The question is, do I want him to plunder me? Y'all actually convinced me to move him up higher than I originally was thinking. But what tier, alas, are y'all thinking?
The energy. That's what it's about.
I'd say somewhere between energy and why not?
Okay.
With energy.
I would go with energy.
Okay.
I would think.
Why are you thinking maybe why not, Ashton?
Makes me think of Twilight.
There are some people who would think that's a positive, though.
Nothing wrong with Twilight.
Nothing wrong with Twilight. Except for the problematic things. That's wrong with Twilight. You hear me, Tumblr? There are some things wrong with Twilight, but nothing wrong with Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Next on the list, we have... So, let me tell you about this bill. So, this bill is based off the cover for the Hatsune Miku song.
I knew it!
Romeo and Cinderella. The one where she's holding the apple and Kaito is like, probably, assumably Kaito is leaning over her. For those of you who don't know it, let me show this to you. So I thought that the inspiration gave it some points. I thought it was a really faithful adaptation. He's dressed up for me. He's wearing lingerie. I think a good attempt at seduction is worth something.
He has a toy.
So I guess my question to you, the council, is how sexy is this bill, if at all?
Why does the apple have a mouth?
Because
it's weird.
Inspiration and the sexy elements, but I gotta be honest, he's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's a little guy.
He's just a little guy. Ashton, when you were asking why the apple has a mouth, I need to say it's because Bill Cipher, I don't know if you know this about him, he's kind of fucked up and twisted. And it'd be kind of fucked up and twisted if the apple had a mouth, don't you think?
It's the toy.
Hey.
So
listen, I dig the inspiration a lot. I think it's cool.
Okay, you think it's cool.
But
is it sexy?
I like the roses. I dig it.
But Rev says just a guy. What about y'all?
I'd put it above just a guy.
Above just a guy, okay.
Above just a little guy or above just a guy?
I mean, he could be Lil, but above just a guy.
No, he's definitely a little guy. I would say if he's any kind of guy, it's a little guy.
What if he's tall? What if this is a big triangle? What if this is a human-sized triangle? What if this is a Miku-sized triangle?
How tall is Miku?
Ashton, how tall is Miku? You would know more than I would.
I have a Miku figurine and it's this big.
I think Miku is people-sized.
I bet you could Google it. How tall is Hatsune Miku?
One moment.
If this
How
bill
tall is Hatsune Miku? Wow, did they know? 5'2". I'm the same height as Miku.
if this bill is 5 feet tall,
Yes.
that lowers his standing to me.
What?
It is more upsetting.
It's more upsetting. I was trying to
If he's
help.
if he's 5'2", he's shorter than me, which makes him a little guy, I think.
Yeah, I'm taller than 5'2". He's still Lil.
Okay. Do you guys think just a little guy?
I could accept just a little guy.
A little guy.
All right. Alas, I tried. I gave you a fighting chance. We have this bill by Clown Plushie. I don't have a lot of added context except he looks rich. And he's making kind of like a flirtatious, like cocky grin at you. Like maybe not a grin, but you know, like a grin.
Eyebrows.
Yeah, an eyebrow. And let me tell you, there's a lot of bills on this list that got moved up and down according to their expressions, because sometimes that's all you have. So, you know, how fuckable is this bill?
I feel like this man's got energy.
Why not?
And why not? Energy? What about you, Rev?
I would agree he's got energy.
So we're putting him in energy instead of and why not?
Yeah, I would support that.
William, you're being outvoted. William, maybe you're being a bit too tough on these bills.
Well, there's a lot of competition.
There sure is. Next, we have this bill. I thought was really cool. I thought it was really interesting. This is the only monster bill that I really left till the end because I wanted to judge all the monster bills for myself. But I think this is a really cool monster bill. So I could not tell upon close inspection whether or not this up here was like entrails or like Mardi Gras beads, and I still can't quite tell. I think whatever this bill is doing down here to this person is indicative of something. I don't know what, but it's indicative of something. I thought this was an interesting bill and it made me feel things, but I was not sure what it made me feel. So I leave it to you, Council. And the Council's cat.
He looks versatile.
Versatility's gotta be worth something. There were a lot of bills moved up for versatility, and I'm not going to explain myself there.
I mean, I will say, not personally a monster fucker because I'm not a fucker in general, but I do support them. And I feel like they should have, they should be represented.
They should have rights. Am I allowed to have rights?
Yeah.
Thank you, Council.
I have zero sexual interest in this. I was gonna call him a man, but I feel like that's the wrong word. This
being,
this guy, this
entity
thing.
Yes.
I have zero sexual interest in anybody, but I think this is really cool. I really love this art. I think it's awesome.
Okay.
I think he's cool.
Is coolness a factor here?
Yeah. It's definitely something cool going on there. I mean, it's creative. It's got some originality.
What do you think, William? You're being kind of quiet.
I think we're being seduced by his flattery.
You're all the way to the top.
Dude, I'd be behind that.
Well, that's the second highest one, correct?
No, that's the highest.
What's the second highest one?
The second highest is about the energy.
I'd put him at the top. I'm cool with putting him at the top.
Fuck yeah!
I'll still stand by it.
I'll support it, sure.
Oh my gosh, yay! All right, putting this to the top. This is the last bill. I don't, Ashton, you gotta stop making faces every time one jumps off. As you can see in this bill, as you can see.
I sure see.
Yeah.
I see a lot.
He's putting hard work into this.
Yeah.
He sprinkled out rose petals. He got out champagne.
Yeah, he's put effort in. And I think I really respect that. There's a lot of married couples where like the man won't even put in an effort anymore, and this bill is putting that in, and that's gotta be worth something.
He's got gumption.
He's got gumption.
Yeah.
His tits are a bit small though. Am I allowed to say that? I mean, not to body shame. It's just an observation. You can tell he's a bit flat.
Well,
But not completely flat.
Isn't a pyramid? Wait, is he a triangle or a pyramid?
Ashton, this is basic stuff.
I'm sorry, man.
to be honest, at first glance, I was assuming that he was regular triangle bill, which is to say completely flat, and just happened to be wearing a bra.
But you gotta look at the panties. There's something stuff in that. Reb, you didn't look closely enough.
Sorry.
I think that this bill is clearly very bashful, very shy, excited to see me, but a bit nervous. I tend to like my bills / general lovers to be more dominant, but you know, like, I'm a switch. I could make it work. Ashton, you're killing me with, he's a triangle, right? Like, I should say, Ashton is, of this group, a bit more objective because William the White and Rev the Grey are both like Gravity Falls fans, and Ashton has seen Gravity Falls, but Ashton like knows of Bill Cipher in the same way that the Pope knows about Sans Undertale, not of her own volition, but because some guy showed him to her, and in this case, I'm the guy. But that's just a theory. Yeah, so I think we could give Ashton some room here, some grace in not understanding Bill to be a triangle. But yes, Bill is a triangle, and he only becomes a pyramid after he attains unbelievable power through the rift, which I don't believe this Bill has because, you know, he's a bit too subby for that. So I guess I need your rankings. I need your answers, everyone.
He's so confident. I almost want to see why he's so confident.
You think this is a confident Bill?
I think I want to give him a chance.
He's trying. Yeah.
It is sub-confidence, but it is confident.
Okay. All right.
I'd say why not?
I will say he would win a few more points if the champagne bottle was in the picture, because at the moment it looks like he's just poured a glass for himself.
You're right.
Which, I don't know if that's
but maybe it's like a POV thing. Maybe I'm holding my own glass and this is like what I see.
That's drawing on outside lore again.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm adding in too much.
I stand by what I said. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
All right, y'all. So those are all my bills. And are there any parting points for my viewers? Anything else that you have to say about these bills? Anything that you have to say about my tier list overall and about the categories?
This is a noble cause.
Thank you. I tried. I want to thank the council for their time.
Until next time.
Until next time. Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm
again.
Yeah, so when I'm ranking sexy Sans Undertales.
Yo, I'm in.
So Ashton's out of focus. The asexual gods are sending you all to the Shadow Realm.
Rev's gone too.
We betrayed them.
You're next.
About
William, you're the only one who's not been banished.
I'm already banished. Look at where I am.
That's why.
Is that why you're in pitch black?
William lives in the Shadow Realm.
I don't even have a physical form anymore.
I love this. This is giving me work call vibes. That's just another day at the office.
Speaking of work, we're gonna be compensated for this, right?
Yeah, you'll be paid. How do you want to be paid? Everybody, please like this video to pay the Council of Asexuals, or they'll send me to the void with William the White.
Oh, I just thought of a payment.
What?
Blacklight edition of Journal 3.
I'll pay you in the Blacklight edition of Journal 3. Just send me to the void.
So, that's our tier list. Take a good look. No matter where you landed on this list, I want to thank everyone who submitted art. This project would not be possible without you. I also want to thank my good friends, the Council of Asexuals, for providing their services, and for yes-anding me into that setup, and for letting me take a close look at the void. And I especially want to thank you for watching this far into this very, very ridiculous video. Which brings us to the end. Sorry, give me a minute. Apparently these Doritos are flaming hot. Oh my god, they made the joke. It's the Bill's a Dorito joke. So, thinking about the challenge posed at the start of this video, did the people change my mind? Am I attracted to a geometric shape? Well, not really. Though I will say I do think I have a newfound appreciation for fan art of Bill Cipher. I want to take a minute and say that this video took an unbelievable amount of effort. Far more than I thought it would. I started gathering submissions last summer, and I gave myself until November to publish the video. And then I still needed 4 more months. I spent a lot of effort and a lot of energy and, above all else, a lot of money on this video. And let me tell you, as someone with only 9K subscribers, that was a stupid idea. I don't know why I did that. Frankly, someone please take my wallet and chuck it into the Hudson River. It's for my own good. But it was only possible for me to make something like this because of my patrons on Patreon. Please don't click away. I know that when YouTubers start talking about Patreon at the end of the video, people go, oh well, it's the end of the video, I guess I'm gonna click away. Please, just give me 1 minute of your time, okay? This week on Patreon, if it's not up already, I'm going to publish a step-by-step walkthrough on how I made this video. How I made the backdrops, how I made the costumes, how I made that stained glass and that one painting. I'll talk about the things that went right, and oh boy, all the things that went wrong. I injured myself twice during the making of this video, and you would not believe where. I also want to try to upload these kinds of like how it's made videos after each of my high-scale productions, so that's going to be kind of the plan from now on. Assuming I keep making these high-scale productions. I'm not gonna lie, this was so much effort that if this video doesn't really perform well, it's gonna be really demoralizing. Because as much as I love having this as a passionate hobby, I don't know, man, a bitch has to eat. I have mouths to feed. I have this little mouth to feed. This little guy can't live off of Doritos. And I have tons of other perks on Patreon. I have like an entire video essay that's posted to my Patreon that has not been on YouTube yet. Right now, you could watch this video on my Patreon, like right now. It's been up there for months. I really love making these videos. They're kind of stupid and kind of silly, and I just put so much into them, and I don't get to do that with my other jobs. So it means a lot that I have this outlet. By the way, if you're a coworker and you found this video, no you didn't. But yeah, thank you so much. I can't wait for you to see what I do next. It's kind of a big deal. Y'all, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so cool. But yeah, thank you again for your time. Thank you so much for watching this far. Stay tuned for a surprise at the end. And, well, until next time, this is Hannah, signing off. Oh my god! Is that Gravity Falls, an animation enthusiast? That GF fan? From the YouTube channel? That GF fan?
Oh, hey, Hannah.
fancy seeing you here. I was just wandering around thinking about all of Gravity Falls' most burning questions. Like, what is up with the red rectangles in Journal 3? Not to mention the baby. Is that supposed to be Shermie in Intelligence Stance? And why was there a line change between the first edition of Journal 3 and the Blacklight edition?
Man, it sure would be cool if someone could answer all our most pressing questions.
It sure would. If only there was an expert, someone really intimate with the series, perhaps even a creator of the series, who could answer our most burning questions. Oh well!